right.
With your, we're on the website here, seatofthesoul.com, the Life School, Seat of the Soul, sign up now. So what, tell us a little bit about it. It's a program, or how do people involve themselves, and what should they expect to have happen?
It's an ongoing monthly program that people can come into who want to experiment with creating authentic power. It is something that we've just brought to fruition. Linda and I have wanted to have ongoing support for years. That's why I stopped giving a lot of public events, because I'd give an event and people would be inspired and touched, and then I'd leave, they'd leave, and the world would, and they wouldn't have the support, the ongoing support. The Life School is ongoing support. Every month, Linda and I give a webinar. It's a live streaming video talk. And then we take questions and answers, interactive, real time. So if you're in a study group and you have questions, your whole study group can ask the questions. And then we allow people who want to have small group interactions with individuals around the world who are creating authentic power, to see what their experiences are and what they do when they're in power struggles and angry, or feel they can't resist a drink or a smoke. We give them a forum. They have a forum, the Spiritual Partnership online forum, that they can compare notes with and share real time on the internet. There's a large learning library that's growing continually, filled with videos and meditations, and it's all accessible by topic. If you click parenting, or click divorce, or click power, or click love, it'll bring up videos for you to look at, to read the description and choose among those that you want to see. I love this program, Paul. I've dreamed about it. We've dreamed about it for years, and the technology finally allows us to do this. You know, for years, we had a 3-year program called the Authentic Power Program, and it was wonderful, and we offered it for 10 years, and a lot of people just stayed coming back as long as we offered it. But we decided to shift from in-depth, small group, long-term interactions to supporting more people worldwide with digital tools. And I love it now. We can support people in India, New Zealand, as well as West Virginia and San Francisco and New York and Kansas, where I came from. And this is where our energy goes now, and because of this, I'm starting to accept more speaking invitations, because I or Linda and I can go and not only have a talk and say hello to people and meet them, but then when we leave, we have support for them. We have the books. We have the Seat of the Soul with a study guide and an online study guide. We have the Journey to the Soul, a 5-day summer retreat in Oregon on Mount Hood. And we have the Life School, which is just, to me, magnificent. I've wanted to have something this intimate, this helpful, this supportive, this powerful, and always accessible no matter where or when anybody is. And we have it now, the Life School. So thank you for asking about it. It's one of the joys of my life. We just brought it online this month as the 25th anniversary edition of the Seat of the Soul was launched.
Let me ask you, I believe this is probably quite important to you. This book is dedicated to my parents, Morris and Lorraine. Tell me something about them. What a joyful thoughts, something you'd like to share about them.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. They are very important to me. My father was one of the most difficult people I ever met to get along with. It was hard. I think other people got along with him, but we had a relationship. He had his history too. He was scarred by the depression and all the weight that fell upon him to support his family. But I came to a point in my life where I realized I love him and I want to get to know him before he dies. He was in his 60s, so I went back to Kansas and told him that. And for the first time, I set the intention not to want to change him, but to get to know him. And it wasn't easy, and it wasn't easy for him either. But we took a walk that night, and we continued to walk until his legs didn't work well enough for him anymore. And by the time he passed on, we had really done something beautiful between us. He was taciturn in some ways, not in others, but the last time I spoke to him, Linda and I were in Chicago doing an Oprah show, or therefore a show with Oprah, and he called, and usually his voicemail is very short. Gary, this is your father. Click. But this time, he talked to him.
Man, a few words.
Said, I'm proud of you, son. And after that, shortly after that, he fell and hit his head and had a brain hemorrhage, and he never spoke again. And when I saw him in the hospital room, he couldn't speak. So those were the last words.
Your mom?
Oh, Paul, this still touches me so much. It's still deeper in me than I realize. I think it always will be, that healing. My mom was gregarious, talkative, funny. She didn't know or want to be funny. She just was. She was a Kansas mom, and a beautiful Kansas mom. When answering machines first came out, she wouldn't leave me any messages, so I called her and I asked, well, why won't you leave me a message, Mom? She said, I don't talk to anything that doesn't have a pulse. And so, like every family, it's not peaches and cream. In fact, the child-parent relationship is the most difficult in the Earth School, because frightened parts, lessons that the parents have to learn and lessons that the children have to learn interlock perfectly. And you find later, when you look back, that the strengths that you need to move into your full potential, which means your full love, your love, are the same that you need to interact with your parents in healthy and grounded ways.
You know, I hear you're going to come out and maybe do more appearances and talk about it, I guess, with having the website and all the good things there. Any other things that Gary Zukav wants to do, that wants to share with the world?
I'd love to meet you.
That's so kind.
Come to our events when we start to give them again. I'm going to give one in San Francisco and one in Atlanta and some others. Please come to our website. The events that we do will be listed there. There's not a lot of them, but I'd love to meet you in person. Had the 5-day retreat, The Journey to the Soul, on Mount Hood outside of Portland, Oregon. Linda and I give all of those sessions for 5 days. It's one of our favorite times with people. Please come. It's on our website. If that's not something you can do, then please buy the new edition of The Seat of the Soul and use the study guide as you read the book or as you reread the book.
I got it. I got the book.
Okay.
I'm ahead of you there. I'm with you there. Let's put it that way.
My life, Paul, where because of my choices that I've made, my orientation has moved from being reclusive and living in the back country and not wanting to be with people to loving people. I love this life, and I want to share it. And the most wonderful sharings are with people. There's nothing the universe can give you that's a greater gift than fellow humans with open hearts. And that's what we're all becoming. And we all will become that. It's just a matter of time. Why take the rest of your life without beginning the journey? Why take another 10 or 15 or 100 lifetimes without taking the journey? Why not begin now? It takes commitment and courage and compassion and conscious communication and action.
We're focused on world peace in addition to our good news, and wanting to have a party September 21st starting at 12 noon to collaborate with the United Nations International Day of Peace. And have the whole world hug each other. What do you think, Gary?
I love it. I just love it. Are you supporting that, Paul? Are you doing that?
I am. We created the largest human peace sign in Times Square last year. We have Central Park this year in the band shell, which we've been doing for 12 years, and part of another vigil for International Day of Peace. And we're going to do our peace circle again. We had a bunch of songs, had a lot of people behind it, and would like to invite you to be part of it as well. If
I can, I will. And if I can't come to New York when that's happening, I'd love to support you in all of these projects however I can. I'm just so glad to meet you.
I'm so glad to meet you. Let me ask you one more question, last question, and to the next time, let's say. Gary, and thank you so much for taking time and sharing your wealth of good soulness with us and with the world, because you have helped many, many people find themselves and be better selves, and that's such in Yiddish we call it a machaya. It's a blessing, and I thank you so much for that. What's good news for you?
Oh, a new world is being born, and we have the potential to contribute to it constructively. Not only that, we have the evolutionary requirement to contribute to it constructively. In other words, our evolution now requires choice, and that choice leads us into joy. Our evolutionary requirement is now to become joyful. How's that? But it takes focus, it takes work, it's challenging, it's rewarding. We are in new territory. None of the old maps apply anymore. None of the old ways work. We are on the ground floor of a new species. This is the most exciting time to be alive in the history of humankind. And I'm so grateful to be here with you.
And I'm grateful to be with you. You put a big smile on my face. All right, I love you, Gary. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Paul. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Are you still there?